الكاظم Salman, an assistant professor, doctor from Quantityالمرحلة University, History Department. My lecture consists of two parts. In the first part, I will talk about past simple and past continuous, which includes spelling, form, negative, question, short answer, use, prepositions, and time expressions. Past simple. Spelling. Number 1. The normal rule is to add ed. For example, worked, started. If the verb ends in e, add d only. For example, left, loved. Number 3. If the verb has only one syllable, plus one vowel, plus one consonant, double the consonant. For example, stupid, planet. Number 3. If the verb ends in a consonant plus y as the last word, change the y to ied. For example, studied, carried. There are many common irregular verbs. 4. The form of the past simple is the same for all persons. In positive, I finished yesterday. I arrived yesterday. I went yesterday. The pronoun he, she, it, the same. He finished yesterday. He arrived yesterday. He went yesterday. We finished yesterday. We arrived yesterday. We went yesterday. You finished yesterday. You arrived yesterday. You went yesterday. They finished yesterday. They arrived yesterday. They went yesterday. Negative. The negative of the past simple is formed with didn't. For example, he walked. It will become a negative. He didn't walk. I didn't arrive yesterday. She, he, it didn't arrive yesterday. We didn't arrive yesterday. You didn't arrive yesterday. They didn't arrive yesterday. Question. The question in the past simple is formed with did. For example, the sentences, she finished. Any question will become, when did she finish? When did she arrive? When did you arrive? When did they arrive? Etc. Short answer. For example, did you go to work yesterday? Yes, I did. Did it rain last night? No, it didn't. Use. Number 1. The past simple expresses a past action that is now finished. For example, we played tennis last Sunday. Another example, I worked in London from 1994 to 1999. John left 2 minutes ago. 2. Note the time expressions that are used with the past simple. For example, I did it last year. I did it last month. I did it 5 years ago. I did it yesterday morning. I did it in 1985. Past continuous. 4. Was, were, plus ing present participle. In positive and negative, we have some examples for these pronouns. I was working. I wasn't working. He was working. He wasn't working. She was working. She wasn't working. It was working. It wasn't working. We were working. We weren't working. You were working. You weren't working. They were working. They weren't working. In a question, we have another examples. What was I doing? What was he doing? What was she doing? What was it doing? What were we doing? What were you doing? What were they doing? In short answer, we have another examples. Were you working yesterday? Yes, I was. Was she studying when you arrived? No, she wasn't. Use. Number 1. The past continuous expresses a past activity that has duration. For example, I met her while I was living in Paris. Another example, you were making a lot of noise last night. In question, what were you doing? 2. The activity began before the action expressed by the past simple. For example, she was making coffee when he arrived. Another example, when I phoned Simon, he was having dinner. 3. The past continuous expresses an activity in progress before and probably after a time in the past. For example, when I woke up this morning, the sun was shining. Question: what were you doing at 8 last night? Past simple and past continuous. Number 1. The past simple expresses past actions as simple facts. For example, I did my homework last night. Another example, in question, what did you do yesterday evening? I watched TV. Number 2. The past continuous gives past activities time and duration. The activity can be interrupted. For example, what were you doing at 8? I was watching TV. Another sentences. I was doing my homework when John arrived. 3. In stories, the past continuous can describe the scene. The past simple tells the action. For example, it was a beautiful day. The sun was shining and the birds were singing. So we decided to go for a picnic. We put everything in the car. Number 4. The questions below refer to different time periods. The past continuous asks about activities before, and the past simple asks about what happened after. For example, what were you doing when it started to rain? We were playing tennis. Another question, what did you do when it started to rain? We went home. Prepositions and time expressions. At 6 o'clock. At midnight. At Christmas. At the weekend. On Saturday. On Monday morning. On Christmas Day. On January 18. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. In December, in summer, in 1995. In 2 weeks' time. No preposition. Today, yesterday, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, the day before yesterday, last night, last week, 2 weeks ago, next month, yesterday evening, tomorrow evening, this evening, tonight. In the second part, I'm going to explain about expressions of quantity, which contain, number 1, count and uncount nouns, much and many, some and any, a few and little, a lot and lot of. Number 2, articles, a and the, which consists in definite article, no article. Expressions of quantity, count and uncount nouns. Number 1, it's important to understand the difference between count and uncount nouns. We have some examples about them. Count nouns: a cup, a girl, an apple, an egg, a pound. Unaccount nouns: water, sugar, milk, music, money. We can say 3 cups, 2 girls, 10 pounds. We can count them, but we cannot say 2 waters or 3 musics, also 1 money, because we cannot count them. Number 2, count nouns can be singular or plural. For example, this cup is full. Another example, these cups are empty. Uncount nouns can only be singular. For example, the water is cold. The weather was terrible. Much and many. Number 1, we use much with uncount nouns in questions and negatives. For example, how much money have you got? There isn't much milk left. Number 2, we use many with count nouns in questions and negatives. For example, how many people were at the party? I didn't take many photos on holiday. Some and any. Number 1, some is used in positive sentences. For example, I'd like some sugar Number 2, any is used in questions and negatives. For example, is there any sugar in this tea? Have you got any brothers and sisters? We don't have any washing up liquid. I didn't buy any apples. 3. We use some in questions that are requests or offers. For example, can I have some cake? Would you like some tea? 4. The rules are the same for the compounds someone, anything, anybody, somewhere, etc. For example, I've got something for you. Hello, is anybody here? There isn't anywhere to go in my town. Articles أ.م.د. Number 1, the indefinite article أ or an is used with singular, countable nouns to refer to a thing or an idea for the first time. For example, we have a cat and a dog. There is a supermarket in Adam Street. Number 2, the definite article the is used with singular and plural, countable and uncountable nouns, when both the speaker and the listener know the thing or idea already. For example, we have a cat and a dog. The cat is old, but the dog is just a puppy. I'm going to the supermarket. Do you want anything? It means we both know which supermarket. Indefinite article. The indefinite article is used, number 1, with the professions. For example, I'm a teacher. She's an architect. 2, with some expressions of quantity. For example, a pair of, a little, a couple of, a few. Number 3, in exclamations with what plus a count noun. For example, what a lovely day. What a pity. Definite article. The definite article is used, number 1, before seas, rivers, hotels, pubs, theaters, museums, and newspapers. For examples, the Atlantic, the British Museum, the Times, the Ritz. Number 2, if there is only one of something, for example, the sun, the queen, the government. 3, with superlative adjectives. For example, he is the richest man in the world. James, the oldest in the class. No article. There is no article, number 1, before plural and uncountable nouns when talking about things in general. For example, I like potatoes. Milk is good for you. Number 2, before countries, towns, streets, languages, magazines, mills, airports, stations, and mountains. For example, I had lunch with John. I bought Cosmopolitan at Paddington Station. 3, before some places and with some forms of transport. For example, at home, in or to bed, at or to work, at to school or at to university. By bus, by plane, by car, by train, on foot. Another example, she goes to work by bus. I was at home yesterday evening. Number 4, in exclamations with what plus an unaccount noun. For example, what a beautiful weather. What loud music. Not. In the phrase go home, there is no article and no preposition. For example, I went home early, but not I went to home. Thank you so much.